thankfully, the penalty line here is not too penalizing. You know, it's not too far before a braking zone, unlike some other places where it can really, really hurt you.
All right,
But
looks
yeah,
like we're coming to the start-finish line to get this thing underway. Split 2 of the Gran Turismo PHG World Series. And we're off.
let's go, team. Looks like Leo's made a decent start. After in the GTR, see if they can get through turn 1 unscathed. Looking pretty good up at the front. Maybe a bit of elbows out at the back, but everyone kind of getting through there. Not too many penalties by the looks of it. Alrighty, yeah, and a very clean turn 2 or turn 3 there, depending on what you consider turn 2 or turn 3. Looking very good, and Leo's made a great start.
Yeah,
Piper's kind of slotted in.
yeah, much like last week, the second split is actually even tighter and cleaner going into those first couple of corners, which is
Yeah,
fun to see. This is a tight pack of racing. We saw that in the first split. A lot of tight racing. Not a lot of people just kind of getting off onto an island, and
yeah,
this is
yeah,
shaping
and
up to
I'd
have a
say,
lot of action.
yeah, I think there was. But I think part of the reason I had so much action with other drivers was I was out braking myself quite a bit, and I had a one or two overtakes which I wasn't really intending, but they kind of just worked. And I think maybe one or two love taps with people where I wasn't right to keep the place, so maybe waited up for them or whatever. But certainly, it's a track that rewards aggressive but fair overtaking. Yeah. Alrighty. Looks like Leo kind of with Papa tucked in behind and TK's very close up at the front there. Papa's still in the slipstream. He was rocking this awesome US Army livery on this Porsche 911. And the weather's looking good for now. It's, foreboding. Who knows what's going to come and when it's going to come. But don't get too comfortable, guys. Very cool. And Sal, how's your first experience of being a race director and kind of switching through different views and different modes on the stream? How's that going for you?
It's fun, honestly. So trying to kind of keep the focus on where the action is, and without jumping around too much and making people sick is kind of what I'm after here. But and thankfully we had plenty of action in split 1, and it's fun seeing this train of cars we got going in split 2. It's probably only a matter of time before we start seeing some passing happening here.
Absolutely. And Titanium is the bookkeeper of PHG. She is kind of very carefully looking after all of our race results and scores, and making sure that all of the standings for the league, for the races, are accurately recorded and kind of shared in a timely manner. So Titanium plays a super important role for PHG, and has been stepping in with commentary as well as a lot recently. So how are you doing right now, Titanium?
Oh, and I appreciate the thought. It always seems like I'm not really doing that much at all, but at last count, considering we're now at 76 team drivers, it's starting to be a little bit to get everybody in there and everything. And so this league is really awesome to see everybody turning out and what we can do. And I'm just going up and down the grid here, kind of keeping watch. Everybody seems to be spread out decently even so far.
Yeah, doesn't look like there's been one or two. There hasn't been too many incidents, I would say. It's all clean single file racing, and yeah, that's crazy. 76 drivers, and I love PHG is a very friendly, welcome, open door policy. If you want to come, and find a team or a league that rewards kind of friendly, clean racing, this is the place to be. So the more the better, and more work for Titanium, I'm sure.
Right. But that's okay.
Exactly.
looks like
It's a happy headache.
Looks like Plankton picked up a penalty there coming through the final set of corners of the lap and almost gave up a position to a Nasty behind him who's staying all over his rear bumper. If he can stick with him, he'll definitely get that pass done when Plankton has to serve his penalty if he doesn't get it even before that.
I haven't seen too many penalties, to be fair. Everyone's keeping it on the straight and narrow.
They might have learned from watching that first race. There were so many penalties in that first race from everybody that maybe they've all kind of taken note. It's like, hey, settle down, gain some time.
Exactly. Yeah. No, there's a lot of half-second penalties out there, and there's a few kind of track limit 1 second penalties. But I had a very strange one towards probably to around 2/3 into the race, where it's actually at this turn they're on now. I ran out wide of the curb there, and I got a 1.5 second penalty, which thankfully, with the way the race was, with so much rain, you can kind of make that up pretty quickly. But yeah, in dry conditions, a 1.5 penalty can really hurt you.
Yep, looks like Plankton lost that one spot, did not lose a second, stayed ahead of K-Dub. And behind him, Speedburner also had a penalty that he had to serve, so he wasn't able to capitalize on that as well. But kind of just barely hanging on to this pack ahead.
Look at his times. He's 129s, 130s. He's putting in fast laps. It's just the split here is they're all doing a great job, and everyone's got pace today. So
yeah, I mean it's split too, which you always think is kind of the second list of drivers, but all these guys are also fast, so
yeah. Absolutely, yeah. And yeah, as the rain falls, I think as it's going to fall probably in about 3 to 5 laps time, I would say I put my money on Ecstasy and Leo for a podium, just being in the mid-engine kind of car. TK and Papa, they've put in their practice, but I don't love that GTR in the rain, to be honest with you. The turbocharger can kick in and spin you out quite nastily. And the Corvette's a fast car. I wish I could drive it better, but I've never been able to drive it remotely fast. I think I need to really sit down and get acquainted with it, because so many people use it in this league, and it's the acceleration and top speed is incredible. But yeah, I don't know. To me, it feels so understeery, and also I have a bit of a lead foot, so I can spin out with it sometimes as well.
Yeah, that one definitely has a lot of power oversteer on corner exit, and if you can't control your throttle, it's a beast. But if you can get it under control, it's a real fun one to drive. The Corvette is one of my favorites. But
Juzam just got real squirrely, and Plankton is now making a move. Nasty is now above.
Ooh, look at this!
Made the pass, yeah. And looks like Plankton just went purple.
Oh, yeah. All three of these guys here have a nice tight battle back in the mid-pack.
Definitely. I've been keeping an eye on them because Plankton and Nasty especially it's been real close for most of this race.
Yeah, good racing, and it can get tricky going up into that heavy braking zone up the hill. It's hard to kind of know exactly when to judge your braking point. You got to account for the slipstream that you've had, and maybe taking a tighter line if you're on the inside. I certainly caught myself out a few times, but yeah, always good to brake and be on the safe side when you're around fellow fast, clean drivers.
Then we go back up to the front, and Papa is just not letting Leo get away. These two have a history. They have a bit of a fun rivalry. Where they threaten they're going to take each other out, which is all just in good fun. But here they are battling it out really well at the front of this pack, and they are nose to tail.
Yeah, and he's biding his time. He's not sticking it up the inside on that corner, which can be it would really just slow them both down and bring TK's back into it. This is really one of the better overtaking spots on the track, and also if you can set up a good exit, you can get a pass done into the next braking zone as well. So yeah, Papa biding his time. I think he's been racing that GTR on stream quite a bit this week at Suzuka, so he's obviously grown to like it quite a bit if he hadn't already. Yeah, GTR is a good car too. It's one of my kind of favorite Group 3 cars in GT7. I used to play Gran Turismo Sport and I could never really handle it, but with the latest physics, I can. So it's a very fun car.
Now, we did have a car come into the pits early. Now, we know these drivers can see the weather a lot more than we can. And Ironfix, came in and got intermediates before everybody else. And being in the R8, another rear engine, that is a rear engine car, isn't it? We'll see if maybe he can pick up some extra time by, doing the undercut and coming in and see it predicting that rain. And it looks like everybody is now coming in now that the rain has started to fall. You can see everybody entering pit road. Let's see where Ironfix ends up when this is all done.
We had a little bit on that first part of the meter there, and I do see it coming down on the screen.
And Ironfix was near the back starting that last lap, so he may have thought, hey, I got nothing to lose. Let's just see if we can get down the rain tires sooner and try to make up some time.
Yeah, certainly where he's at now on the rain meter, he's faster than softs, but it just depends. Did the rest of the guys get into the pits before that crossover point? Could be a strategic master stroke. And oh wow, look at that! That is close coming out of the pits.
Yes, it looks like they had plenty of a lead on Ironfix. He wasn't able to make up too much time there, but nobody got caught out in the rain. It looks like, other than maybe whoever was in last round. Oh, SSC got a bump. Did he get a bump, or did he just get a little squirrely?
I think, just maybe a bit trigger happy, but he's jumped up. He's on course to jump up 2 spots since coming out of the pits. So let's see if mid-engine power can do the trick here.
Oh yeah, he just got a little throttle happy on exit there, but was able to rein it in.
Yeah. Good, if you'll pardon the pun.
Yeah.
So yeah, S2C, there you go, up to second. I think, S2C and Leo could have a good battle here.
Yeah, we got 2 of the mid-engine cars, 1-2, and now we got a Corvette and a GTR. Papa's falling back to 4th. He may struggle here in the rain. Let's see if he can keep his wits about him. Dial it back and take it easy and maintain some pace.
Speedburner and Plankton. Speedburner's trying to pass him. And he did not make a mistake. Oh, now he has. As for Papa, I don't know if you guys noticed, but he took full wets, and TK and Leo took intermediates, which I thought was interesting. There's very few people that took full wets, it seemed.
Yeah, that seemed to be the pattern in the first split, that a lot of the people running the front engine cars took full wets, while those that were running the rear engines could make it work on intermediates. I'm not sure if that's the same strategy people are trying to use here.
Yeah, I was actually, based on, I think, some testing I did, and maybe I only just drove a mid-engine car, but a lot more people were on wets in the race than I thought, and maybe because, like, I know you guys couldn't see it from the commentary, but the way the weather came in on the radar was quite different to the practice sessions, and it looked quite a bit worse than I think what people had practiced. So maybe people just kind of took that split-second counter strategy of taking the wets, and maybe they are faster for a few laps, but as you get into the last 4 or 5 laps, intermediates just eat you up. As we saw with Lyric in the race, very fast, but kind of fell away to myself and Shaggy.
Looks like Papa was able to make his way around TK's and starting to put a little bit of distance on there. Let's see if he can try to run down Estasi and Leo, who are gapping the field a little bit.
Yeah, Papa's flying now. He looks like he's found his rhythm. And yeah, we can see he's probably
he's running them down
now. So if he's on those wets, that's what's really going to help him at this time.
Yeah, he's right there.
Cool. And it's got great straight line speed, that GTR. McLaren, not too bad. The Porsche's such a good all-round car. I think I've become a Porsche guy. I never thought I would in the Group 3s. I never really liked it in GT Sport either, but now it's like my go-to in GT7. I mean, I guess it is kind of one of the meta cars, but it's just very, very good all round. Yeah.
It seems to be slightly above average
Oh,
in
Giselle just
everything.
lost it.
Ooh, maybe we can head back and see what's going on with Jazam.
I think he just came in way too hot.
Oh yeah, turn 1. That could really catch you out. Wow, Sal, what awesome technical features you got here.
Oh yeah, he just had the power. Got on the power a little too early coming out. He actually had the braking under control, but it looks like just got a little throttle happy.
Loves the replay in that. Very, very cool. So he's got some time to make up. So here we go, Papa, all over the back of these two.
These top 3 are really going at it. Do we think Papa's trying to be patient? Or do we think Papa's just chomping at the bit to get up?
Well,
I think he's got to be. Yeah.
Papa and Leo actually have a little bet going. Started last year, just before Christmas. And that is that if Leo wins, then Papa has to wear a Santa suit this next Christmas. And if Papa wins, Leo has to wear an elf suit. So they are trying to.
There's some real stuff on the line here.
Yeah, it's pretty funny, but they are actually, I think, planning to do this. So it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top.
There's a little bit of an accordion action, it looked like, going into turn 1 there. Spread them out a little bit.
Museum just lost it again. He's fell back into P11. He's having a hard time getting going again.
Elbows out everywhere.
Let's see what happened here again. Oh, was loose coming into the corner. That time it was under braking.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I would struggle to handle these conditions with that Lexus. I think it's got quite a bit of power oversteer as well, and yeah, quite light at the rear, quite front heavy. Oh, yellow flags.
Plankton had spun out.
Not nice. Yeah, no.
Let's see what happened with him here. It looks like coming into that. It's a heavy braking zone. Oh, just lost it under braking.
Yeah, these are the kind of conditions where you cannot have 100% brake pressure, and this corner particularly, it's got that downhill camber, kind of falling away from you. If you hit the full brakes there, you are going around in a circle, as we saw with Mr. Plankton.
Couple with a half-second penalty.
Yeah,
it looks like people have spread out a little bit now. 1, 2, and 3 now have a little bit of space, followed by 4, 5, 6. And then we got 7, 8, 9. So we got like 3 different packs going here.
It seems like it's let up on the lane.
TK's maybe, yeah, TK's is kind of maybe...
He's leading the second pack here.
Yeah, exactly. So that, he obviously had some pace in the drive phase, and maybe it's just fallen back a bit in this kind of wet second phase of the race. But, you know, as things dry up, maybe we'll see some good stuff. Oh, okay. The Papa with a penalty.
Yeah, these top 3, this is still the biggest or the closest fight in the race, and Papa's probably going to lose a bit of ground here with this half-second penalty in these front 2. Let's see if they can get away. We were talking in the first split about that transition going from dry to wet, but also going from the wet back to the dry and trying to get your mind around, you know, how is it you start getting faster? And when you switch back to those dry tires, or maybe just before you switch back to the dry tires, where's your braking point? How did you manage that, Rick, in the first race? Just as the track was drying out, adjusting your braking points as you go, and then also making sure to not get into anybody else while they're also adjusting their braking points based on
Racer Dude
the
just went
moisture.
off.
Who did?
Racer Dude, but he's managed to get back on. He's actually handled that quite well.
Very nice. In the alpha. Ooh,
that right-hander can be slick.
You do not want wheels on that curve in these conditions. On this track, there's some curves which you can totally still use when it gets wet, but then there's some which I would just absolutely avoid, even when it starts to dry up. So I think turn 1 is a good example. In the dry, I'm fully on the curbs there, just with my right wheels on the red strip, which kind of indicates track limits, but I never got back onto it, even as it was really drying up. And then I think it's the turn after this one, kind of that long left-hander, the line really changes through that one in the wet, but you can always kind of finish up out on the curb. The side curb there has got a lot of grip, which I think traditionally you want to avoid curbs when it's super wet like this.
And these top three will not let up. There hasn't been much passing. I mean, it's been Leo, Ecstasy, Papa the whole time, but God, I'm sure each of them are just waiting for one of them to make a mistake.
Exactly, yeah. It's pure cat and mouse stuff here, and I think as you know, the rain is subsiding for sure, as we can see with that rain meter. So this is the part where I think with the Inters guys, they're going to start being faster. So Papa's on full wets, and we can see he's driving in the wet part of the track there just to conserve his tire life. But I think with Papa towards the end of the race, we're going to see him probably falling away from these guys, and good racing between Leo and Esther.
We got a tight battle here with Speedburner and Nasty back in 5-6.
I was literally about to tell you that.
Very cool indeed. Loving that livery from the pair of them, actually.
It looks like Nasty is on intermediates. Is Speedburner on intermediates as well?
No, he is on full wets.
So Nasty has the tire advantage here now that the track is drying out. When Speedburner barely holds on to it, almost went wide in that corner.
Yeah, he's been accumulating 5-second penalties here and there, so I think that's what started Nasty to catch up.
Yeah, exactly. I think we're starting to see a dry line forming, so those Inters guys will be able to kind of drive on that and really have a time advantage. But again, you can't just take the dry lines that you were driving earlier in the race. You can get close to them still, that you've got to avoid some curbs, and you've got to be careful to, if you're taking the dry line, you've got to commit to it on the asphalt, because if you drop your wheels onto a wet part, it's going to pull you around, give you some oversteer or understeer, whatever. So I certainly had a few of those moments.
And Papa's definitely fallen back, and T-Case is now right on him. It's like it's a battle for 3 and 4 here.
Yeah,
I'm curious, who's going to go into the pits first and try to get back onto those racing tires and try to make up some time. And then the question will be, will they be able to do it and not hit the wet?
Nasty and Speedburner too wide. Speedburner comes out just a little bit ahead.
Ooh.
And with Papa and T-Case is on the intermediates. Papa's on the full wet, so T-Case has the tire advantage there, catching up to him.
And T-Case got around Papa.
Yeah.
Yeah. He can make it stick through here. He should be okay.
Yep. Oh, Papa sends it in. T-Case holds it off.
That corner is really interesting, because in the wet, in the proper wet, you take a really wide line and you just have so much more grip by avoiding the dry line. But then it kind of becomes this, you need to kind of play it both ways as it dries out. There's the dry line, which is very fast, but there's still a lot of grip on that outside. So you can get some good kind of wheel-to-wheel racing there, as Shaggy and I had in the first race.
Still nobody Nobody coming into the pits yet.
Now
this is-
Steve finally got around Speedburner, and he's just flooring it.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he's got some space now.
Yeah.
Well, and he had the tire advantage, right? So let's see if he can pull away.
He's 3 laps, 6 seconds to Papa. So maybe P4 is on the cards for this intermediate Porsche driver.
Well, and we're down to the last 3 laps. Is there anybody that's just, or is everybody gonna just stay on the wet tire and just try to make it last the last 3 laps? You know, how much time are you gonna gain at this point by coming in for race tires? We might see some pretty torn up tires by the time we get to the end of this.
Exactly. Yeah. Inters will comfortably make it. The wets, you can get shredded to 50% life or worse, which is when they're really going to kind of have that performance offset against the inters. But yeah, at this stage of the race, there's too much time to make up on dries if you pit, because you lose 20 odd seconds at least. And yeah, dries, I think wet tires in the dry are only about 5 to 10% slower than dry tires in the dry. So it's really the opposite there. You know, when you're on dry tires in the wet, then you're 50% slower, if not 100% slower than the wets.
It was really interesting, that first split. I mean, you guys had enough time to come in for that second pit stop and get back onto dry tires, right? Or did you guys stay on the wets?
No, we stayed. Yeah, we stayed out.
I'm not remembering that right then.
Yeah, maybe you're remembering the Le Mans race or something we did a while ago.
Speedburner has struggled so much, Plankton finally got around him. And is trying to eat away at that time between him and Aston.
Yeah, he's really struggling with these wet tires now that the track's drying out.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Esther still tucked in behind Leo. Thanks, up there. Yeah, everyone's getting closer to that 130 mark. Ooh, yeah, Esther's pushing. Esther's going for the win.
Oh, he is trying hard. Leo just can't shake him. He's had him all over him the entire race.
Yeah, and Leo, you know, it's the toughest place to be out first with a car in your rearview mirror, and it's not just been Esther, it's been Papa and TK's earlier. Oh, that's a very difficult time to get a penalty.
Oh, and he's gonna have to serve that right at the end of the last lap.
Yeah. So as long as Leo doesn't win it.
If he's gonna have any chance to win, he's got to get around Leo now and get some space. But
yeah,
Plankton just went off.
Ooh, that's gonna let speed burn.
Yep, sure did. And K-Dub passes.
Ooh.
So did Racer.
So he's at a
oh, he got his tires onto the dirt.
Yeah, he's stepping back.
And just couldn't quite save it. Yep. He just kind of kept going around.
Yeah.
Ouch.
And a half-second penalty to boot.
Okay, so Leo's made it through the first.
Still trying.
Yeah, he's pushing.
Let's see if we go back and check on Papa here quick. It's like, he's kind of stretched out from TK's. He's got a 1.6 seconds back from him.
Yeah, look at the tire wet now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the field's really stretched out. Looks like 1 and 2 are really the one to watch here.
Yeah, I think so.
But with that penalty...
All race. Yeah. Now the penalty comes.
Yeah. If Leo doesn't make a huge mental error in these last 2 corners, it looks like it's his.
Yeah, great show of mental resilience from Leo here. He's led lights to flag. And he's made it around the final corner. I don't think Leo's had a penalty. So there you go. Congratulations, Leo.
Very good second place. P2.
Awesome.
TK's coming across in P3.
Very cool.
Papa.
Good finish for Papa. Thanking his pit crew there. Ooh, here we go. Speed burner.
Oh, just trying to hold off K-Dub. Ooh, that might be a pen at the end.
Yes, and K-Dub's got him anyway. Racer Dude, Iron Fix, P9, Shazam, P10. And yeah, unfortunately,
Plankton,
very
unfortunate. He had a fast car and just ran into some trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here we go.
Don Squad
Bring up the rear.
showing some resilience, repping the Merc, running it all the way to the end.
Keeping everyone safe at the back, making sure everyone gets around in one piece. Vulnerable stuff. Well done, Dawn Squad. And that's the race. Well done, everyone. Great finish for P1, P2, P3. We got Leo, S2C, and T-Case.
I dumped out of there a little early.
Love it. So, Leo, P1, pretty much had someone in his gearbox within a second for the entire race. So, great showing there. Great overall race time. S2C hounding Leo in that McLaren, but just couldn't get it done. I think he's been driving that McLaren a lot in this World Series. So great fast car there, and two mid-engine cars bringing up the front in these conditions. Corvette found some pace after that, maybe struggling a bit in that early kind of heavy wet part of the race, but found some pace there on the inters as things dried out. Papa, he was lightning fast in that kind of really heavy early wet part of the race. Looked like he wanted to get by and kind of maybe try and pull out ahead before he got reeled back in, but very creditable P4. Nasty P5, very, very good performance as well. And seemed to have lost it. But I think we had P6 was, here we go, we're back. P6 K-Dubs, exactly. Speedburner just couldn't keep it on the track there, so creditable P7 in those wet finishes there. Racer Dude picking it up in P8 in the 4C. We didn't see too many of those out there, but there was two in the first race, and they were pretty quick. Iron Fix, R8, great car, pretty solid finish there, and very, very creditable kind of early pit stoppers there going on to the wets. Shazam did a very good job. Almost just fell off my chair there. Shazam did a very good job in the Lexus. Just very difficult car to drive, so some understandable spins. Plankton was running a great race. Had that really big off, unfortunately. And Dawn Squad in the anti-meta 2011 AMG, beautiful car, and very good race for everyone.